Born to Ride is sponsored in part by Rubenstein Law, 1-800-FL-LEGAL, representing riders since 1988. Offices throughout Florida, 1-800-FL-LEGAL.
So, you're on this thing, right? And it's just you and the road and the wind and the trees, and it fills you up. You're flying, but centered. Lost, but found. Every part of your body's engaged, every part of your mind is activated, synapses firing, dopamine oozing. It's chemical. You get off and you feel reborn. A god. Your spine is tingling, your core is vibrating, and that growl hums in your belly for the rest of the day. Because a great ride stays with you. It just lingers in your muscles, in your bones, and settles into your consciousness and seeps into the creases of your soul. Every hour is magic hour when you're on a Harley. But the magic isn't about what the bike can do. It's about what the bike can do to you.
I've been dreaming of doing a trip through South America for years.
We're here with world-famous actor Ewan McGregor.
But life got in the way. And now I've decided to do the trip with my best friend, Charlie Boorman.
You've got to look after the relationships in your life, and if you don't, you're losing something that's very important.
We'll ride 13,000 miles from the southern tip of Argentina all the way to Los Angeles.
150 miles every day is a long way to go.
And if that wasn't enough of a challenge, we wanted to see if we could do it on electric motorcycles.
I think it's the future electric.
You'd be the first people to go this distance, charging as you go.
Oh my God, it's so great, isn't it?
Oh, uh-oh. The power's just gone.
This is us on the road, Charlie. This is us on the way, man.
I'm gonna get attacked by this dog. We'll ride through the brutal Patagonian winter.
Look at that snow. It's amazing how cold it is.
We're gonna climb to the extreme heights of the Andes and experience the real risks of high altitude.
I can't breathe.
I'm definitely getting sick, Charlie.
Before witnessing the endangered jungles of Central America.
To think about all of the things that might go wrong.
I think we're lost.
Is this a road? Roads might be a little... Wow, that's all enough.
In the middle of the night, things just go around your brain, don't they?
I have real fear. I don't want anyone to get hurt.
They just roll around.
I'm not going to make it.
Towing somebody on a bike is dangerous.
What if the bikes don't work? What if we can't charge the bikes? What if it snows tomorrow?
I really enjoy the unknown of it all. Just coming across the people we come across.
Amazing, the people.
Learning about the cultures and seeing how people keep their traditions alive
Puts you in touch with yourself in the world in a way. I'm an actor.
What films have you made?
Did anybody see Star Wars? No.
I don't think so.
None of these kids have seen anything I've done. Long way up, two guys lost in South America.
Hey, stay put. This is Lorne.
And I'm Clyde.
And you're watching
Born to Ride. And cut.
Hi, I'm Tyler. I'm Tim with TC Brothers, and we're here at Born Create.
Some of you might be wondering what brings us all the way from Ohio to an event like this. It's pretty simple. Cool, custom bobbers, choppers, home-built, garage-built bikes. The level of detail is amazing on some of these. If you're into this, you should be here.
Another cool reason to swing by Born Free is all the independent shops that set up here to show everything that they make. There's tons of guys out here making some really rad parts, handlebars, frames, everything you could think of. There's guys that sell leather goods, apparel. There's a guy doing pinstriping here. There's actually a couple guys even on site giving tattoos, which is pretty neat. So it's really cool to swing by the vendor area and see, all the unique stuff that these guys are creating, and you can probably pick up something cool along the way. I'm over here at the invited builders section, and you can see the variety of stuff that's built here. It's pretty insane. Like you can look over here at, full-blown trike by J.P. Rodman, which is basically a sensory overload. Come over here, dual engine CB750. You don't see one of those every day. If you want to see the best of the best, you come to Born Free.
Couple years, and it's always a good time. It's a good love for bikes around here, and the fact that they have Dynas and FXRs here now, like that just, that intensifies it. It's rad. It's the biggest chopper show in America.
Motorcycles and friends and beer.
Yeah. More butt cheeks than bikes.
Born Free!
Chopper Daddy, what a hell of an intro, buddy.
That's a long intro this time.
And as you see, the Papa Top, that big mega Born to Ride bash is coming up.
Mega bash.
Yeah, we'll be there. I'm sure we're going to have the TV crew out there. We're going to be taping for the TV show and or for this very broadcast here. And as you probably saw, Angie Ray, national recording on out of Nashville. She got hung up with some of we don't really know exactly what the details were, but she got hung up in Nashville. So we're going to reschedule her, but Handsome Devil is going to be playing. And I'm going to tell you right now, they were out at one of our bike events a few weeks ago, and they brought the house down, my friend.
Friends, we've all been hung up in Nashville one time or another. So we can understand.
It happened.
And don't forget, that's this Sunday.
That is correct. And don't forget also, you want to get out there before noon because you remember Roscoe's Chili Challenge? It happened a few weeks back. Oh, that was a mega party in itself. But all of the champions of the chili cook-off are going to have free chili till noon or until it's all gone.
Oh, awesome.
You definitely want to get out there for that. We've got Jello wrestling, Dave.
Oh, no pudding?
Just Jello.
Just Jello.
Pudding tends to get in places that you just don't want pudding.
I'm sure it'll be all runny.
So Jello wrestling. Of course, we have the Born to Ride bike show as well. So make your plans to be there Sunday. Papa Bear Bar and Grill right across from the Speedway out there. And it's I'm telling you guys, it is, and we're out in the country, so we can party like rock stars.
That sounds wonderful. And don't forget, next month we got Thunder by the Bay coming to Sarasota, and that's going to include the Chopper Town Live Chopper Bike Show. You want to be a part of that for sure, too.
I can't wait for that.
Yes, indeedy.
Well, Dave, let's get into some of this content, man. We've got a ton of it to get to. So without
let me tell you, we're going to talk to the world famous, the real Chopper Daddy. We're going to talk to Mondo Porras of Denver's Choppers. Part 1 of that interview is coming up right now.
All right, folks, don't forget to be subscribed to our Facebook, be a part of our family. But without further ado, let's get to some Born to Ride content, baby.
Woo. Florida's newest attraction on the Nature Coast is Crystal Harley-Davidson. With over 65,000 square feet, invites you to Bike Night, the second Thursday of every month, starting Thursday, January 14th, 6 to 8 p.m. Free food while it lasts. Music and entertainment by DJ Trey. Bike games, giveaways. Trade in your motorcycle on the spot. Full bar with drink specials. Ride over with your friends. It's Bike Night at Crystal Harley-Davidson, second Thursday of every month. Always ride safe and drink responsibly.
This is the best of everything that a land rally has to offer.
Go check out highseasrally.com. We'll see you there.
We're on the High Seas Rally.
Hey, it's Debbie with Born to Ride. Tune in every Thursday, 7 to 8 p.m. on the Boss Hog Radio, a fast hour of good talk. Good biker talk, what you really want to hear.
Welcome to the New Year edition of Born to Ride Radio on the Boss Hog Radio Network.
We have got quite an incredible guest coming on here in a few minutes. This guy is, to the chopper world, the custom motorcycle world, he is like the godfather of choppers. I'm talking about Mondo Porras from Denver's Choppers. He has built more custom choppers than any human being alive. And he's going to be with us here in just a few minutes.
And he specializes in the front ends, right? Some nice forks.
Yep, he is going to hand build a custom Springer front end that we're going to be giving away at Thunder by the Bay next month.
Welcome.
Hey, Mondo. Hey, everybody. How you guys doing?
We're doing it. Yeah, 2021. Woohoo.
Yeah. Well, question mark there, but yeah, it's great to be a guest on your show. I'm honored to be on your show, and Dave Nichols, what a guy. He's been a guy that's helped me with my career throughout, and I owe a lot to, and so it's a pleasure to be on with all you guys, and hope I can add some color to your wonderful show.
Oh, for sure you will. But you know what? You just said something important. So right off the bat, why don't you tell us a little bit about your relationship with Dave Nichols and how it's, how it's been through the years, and maybe some finer points of some of the great accomplishments that you guys have done together.
Give us the dirt on Dave.
I was going to say that. Sugarcoat it and then give us a little bit of dirt.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I've known Dave for many years since he took the helm at Easy Rider magazine and took that magazine to the next level with him and Kai and the rest of the crew, the dedicated people there at Easy Rider magazine that are real motorcycle riders and builders and very accomplished in their own right. That fantastic group of people led by Dave. And I met him when I took over Denver Choppers in 1992 when Denver got killed in that drag boat racing accident. And I took the helm of Denver Choppers and met Dave right away and showed him a couple of my bikes. And the next thing I know, I'm on my way. Dave's got me in the magazines. And even though I had been in the magazine since the late 60s, early 70s, but not as the owner of Denver Choppers. And so I kept building bikes and getting them in the magazines and building a little following and some nice bikes that were featured in the magazines. I got 4 covers of Easy Rider magazine, which I think is probably a record, and some centerfolds. And it was a lot of fun doing the photo shoots with Dave because we'd always get to go down and hang out at the photo shoot with the models and stuff, and that wasn't too hard to take. But Dave, I don't know if you guys know this about Dave, but he was one of the guys that when Biker Build-Off started years ago with Tom Beers, and they went to Dave and says, Dave, we want to do this show. I think it was Dave's idea to feature 2 bike builders against each other, along with Billy Lane, I believe. And they all brainstormed and says, yeah, let's put 2 bike guys against each other building bikes and do this neat show on Discovery. Well, Dave was the guy behind the picking of a lot of the contestants for Biker Build-Off, and he chose me. And Discovery Channel called me and asked, do you want to be on Biker Build-Off? And I said, only on one condition, if I can go against Indian Larry. So they said, well, let's call Indian Larry, because they already had him scheduled for his 3rd appearance, but against somebody else. And Indian Larry says, yeah, get rid of the other guy. I want to go against Mondo. So we made this big deal that was going to be East Coast against West Coast style guys that building bikes, and both of us were pretty well known, and that's how I got started. But I owe all that to Dave, along with a lot of other stuff. Another thing that Dave did for me, and just completely surprised me, is the 30th anniversary Easy Rider magazine. Dave had me bring 2 of my bikes down to LA to get them shot for the magazine, and they were built 30 years apart. And so I took them down, got them shot, and I thought, okay, this is cool as hell, and went home, and Dave was real secretive. He didn't tell me anything. The magazine came out the 30th anniversary, and there my 2 bikes were in the magazine. But the coup de grace was that Dave Mann did a painting of those 2 motorcycles. And that was end up being Dave Mann's last painting. He passed away right after that painting.
Wow.
And so that painting, that everybody knows that over the years getting Easy Rider magazine, and you opened it up, and the first thing you did is look for that Dave Mann painting. And I opened up the magazine, kind of putting it through. I looked at that, and I just fell out. And then I talked to Dave, and Dave told me, he says, hey, we didn't know if Dave was even going to make it through this painting. But it ended up being, their 30th anniversary T-shirt and the painting itself. So I think that's probably one of the biggest honors that I have that was bestowed upon me by Dave Nichols. So, and plus we're just good friends. We used to do a lot of bike shows together, and I'd bring my bikes to some of the bike shows, and Dave would judge me harshly, and once in a while I'd get a trophy, maybe I wouldn't, but there's a picture right there of the Dave Mann painting. But all that to Dave Nichols.
Well, Mondo, speaking of that, though, it wasn't just the motorcycles. It was you cruising on the chopper with another guy. Who was the other guy in the photo, in the painting as well?
That guy, his name was Charlie Baxter, just a friend of mine. And he looks a lot like Denver if you would have had a...
I thought it was, yeah.
That would have been Denver. And what I'm doing right now that's kind of fun is I'm doing a clone bike of one of Denver's original choppers that was on the cover of, I believe, Street Chopper magazine in 1970 or so.
So I'm recreating that motorcycle right now, and I did the frame molding on it like I used to do for Denver many, many years ago. We used to do the custom frame molding where the gas tank looks like it was molded to the frame, but there's a little line and the gas tank came off, and the legs on the frame would be peaked, and quite a cool looking deal back then. So I busted out over the holidays and molded the frame, and that's something I hadn't done in about 40 years. And when I got first started at Denver Choppers, I was known as Mondo, because I used to do all the frame molding for Denver, which was a big deal back then, was the frame molding. So hopefully when I get this bike done, that maybe I can bring that back a little bit, I'll take this bike and show it around and get people to take a look at what we used to do in the old days, because that's what I'm trying to recreate.
Oh, I hope it's finished by February 19th.
Nothing like putting some pressure there.
It might be, but the painter's got it right now, and I'm doing 2 or 3 pretty unique custom motorcycles right now that I want to debut next year. I'm doing an Indian Larry bike that's a tribute bike, and I showed Paul Cox, and he said, wow, that's beautiful. In fact, he's doing the seat for it right now, but I had a graphic artist do the artwork on it. There's some paintings of Indian Larry on there that look like photographs, not like airbrush. I mean, they're that nice. And I hope to debut that pretty quick.
Well, I know Dave did a feature interview for a upcoming issue of Born to Ride, and I think that's coming out next month. So that'll be really good. But didn't you build the famous secretive mystery golden chopper in the movie?
Yeah. Oh, Rough Boys.
The Rough Boys.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Tell us a little bit about that one, because we featured that a month or so ago as well in the magazine, and a lot of people were going, "Damn, that's a badass chopper."
That thing runs like a clock. It's so nice. It's an original panhead. I think about a 55 rebuilt, and it's just one of those you give it one kick and it just sits there and hums, and like an old panhead should. But I was in on that build with Paco. And Ron Paw from Paco, him and I are really great friends, and Steve Massacott. In fact, the whole crew at Paco are just 30 miles down the road from me here in Reno. They're in Carson City, Nevada. So I spend a great deal of time down there in the R&D department and walking around grabbing parts and stuff like that. It's that's probably one of the best kept secrets in the industry is Paco. It's about 120,000 square feet of a custom shop that people don't realize that the beautiful bikes that come out of that place, and they've been in business for 50 years, and Ron just was inducted in the Hall of Fame, and quite an operation. If you ever get a chance, go by Paco and check that out.
120,000 square feet. I mean, that's almost a Walmart, a super Walmart.
Damn big.
I mean, that's huge.
Wow, I didn't run that through my head.
Comes in one end of the building, and beautiful chrome parts go out the other end of the building, and frames and front ends. Everything, and the stamp parts that he builds, and the aftermarket parts that we all use on our bikes, and a lot of stuff that goes to Ted Cycle and a lot of other people comes from Paco. So we do, and they're a big part of what we do, and everybody, if you're building choppers at one point or another, you use a Paco part. So that's kind of cool. That means a lot. That means a lot to me and Denver's Choppers, the history of Denver Choppers. If you don't mind, I'd like to give you a little history on Denver Choppers, how it started and where. And
sure.
For people that don't know.
If Instagram is your thing, we're there. We're everywhere. Follow us at #Born to Ride Motorcycle Media, your #1 motorcycle resource.
Sunday, January 24th, it's the Born to Ride Mega Bash at Papa Beer Bar and Grill. This is the bar that won the Roscoe's Chili Challenge. You can check it out with free chili starting at 12 noon while it lasts. Born to Ride TV taping at TW presents Jello Wrestling. Vendors welcome. Call Joe. 10-class ride-in bike show. Sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers. Live in concert, nationally known TV star Angie Ray. It's the Sunday of the Gigtown Bike Fest. Stop in on your way to or from because you don't want to miss this party. Great food, veteran owned and operated. It's all brought to you by Rubenstein Law, representing riders since 1988. Think motorcycle. Don't miss it. Be there.
So much Born to Ride content coming at you. Nobody delivers it like we do at Born to Ride Live every Tuesday, same time, same great station. And folks, don't forget, if you haven't done so already, make sure you become a part of our Born to Ride family. Check out borntoride.com. That's got links to all of our other channels, including our YouTube channels, Instagram, and all of them. Just Twitter, whatever. If we've got it.
That Facebook Born to Ride Facebook group. We want you to be a part of that. We want to see your motorcycle. We want to know where you like to ride, all that. Be part of the family.
Yeah, baby. I'll tell you. And coming up right after the next segment, we're going to tell you how you can possibly get your motorcycle in the pages of Born to Ride. We'll do that right after the next segment. But next segment is coming up. Dave, what's coming up on that?
We've got part 2 of our interview with Mondo from Denver's Choppers. And let me tell you, Mondo's a dear friend. I've known him for years and years and years. Had the proud pleasure. Try saying that. The proud pleasure of riding a Denver's Chopper for many years.
Very nice.
And we've got more from Mondo right now.
All right, check it out.
I mean, 50 years in the industry, man. You got to bring it. Give us some knowledge, man.
All right, Denver's Choppers was the brainchild of a guy named Denver Mullins out of San Bernardino, California, and we call it, the guys around the country call it Purdue. So Purdue is the capital of the bike building industry and the custom industry. It was home of the Hells Angels. Started there. The Vagos started their clubhouse was right behind our shop in San Bernardino. So it was a real biker community that we grew up in right there in Southern California, close to the mountains and not that far from the beach or Hollywood. So we were kind of centrally located. But we started out building custom cars, and I used to hang out at Denver's shop, and he did chopping tops and custom painting, and he did the airbags, and back then they used airbags in the cars and for lifts and stuff like that. So with the custom body shop, and as a young kid at 13, I started building cars. So I started hanging out at his shop, and Denver couldn't get rid of me, and then he started showing me how to do body work and paint. And then he got a chopper and started modifying it, and some of the other guys did, little Freddie Hernandez and Butch and myself, we all got Harleys. And back then, you couldn't pick up a catalog and order parts, so if you wanted something nice and new or shiny, you had to make it yourself. And so we started extending the front ends and making the Springer front ends and doing the paint work and the molding and stretching the frames. And before you knew it, we were a bunch of guys riding around on some really cool bikes around Hollywood and all of Southern California, and that was kind of fun, building our bikes. And people started coming to us and say, "Hey, we like your bikes. Can you build us one, or build us a front end, or this or that?" And so we went from a car shop to a bike shop in '67, and never looked back. The shop just grew and grew, and our style grew, and with the long stretch frames and the long front ends, we're pretty much the guys that invented all that stuff, and it took off. And in fact, the Swedish style bike is actually a Denver chopper, And there was even a bike club in Sweden called Denver's Choppers, and they were out of Stockholm. And those guys even sent me a 30-year anniversary poster from Stockholm for the Denver Choppers. So when you see the Denver Choppers long bikes, and they call the Swedish in Sweden, they're really Denver Chopper bikes. So and those guys are the first to tell you that that's where it came from. So we set a trend, with the long bikes, and everybody had their own deal going. In the Bay Area, and Ron Sims and Arlen did the bigger bikes, and the cafe racers, and back east they had their own style, and with the advent of the magazines, with both Dave and Street Chopper and Easy Rider and all the other magazines, everybody started seeing each other's products, and it kind of morphed into a nationwide thing, and then a worldwide thing with the long bikes, and we've pretty much never looked back. It's been something that's been going on for Denver Choppers for now 53 years in business, and we built a lot of bikes, we've set a lot of trends, and had a lot of fun, and that's kind of the story and the background behind Denver Choppers. Denver and I got real interested in race boats and drag boat racing, and so we went into that full time and opened up a drag boat shop, and we had a 3-boat team. And in 1992, Denver got killed on our top fuel drag boat. I drove one, he drove one. We had an agreement that if anything happened to either one of us, we were to get killed. Drag boat racing would keep the shop going. And so I honored my agreement and took over Denver Choppers in 92. So I've had it for the last 28 years, and building these bikes and still having fun and doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and kept my promise to my best friend, Denver, and we just never looked back. Haven't had time to. We're too busy going forward. That's kind of the Reader's Digest version of Denver Choppers. There's a lot of stories along the way, and coming up through the ranks, and riding back then with there were real bikers riding bikes, and it was a brotherhood, and all the club runs and everything else. It was just an experience that I'm glad I was able to live through all that. Most of the guys that I rode with back then are dead and gone, and so I'm one of the last guys left out of our bunch.
Who did you ride with?
Still trying to keep this thing alive. Pardon me?
Who did you ride with?
Well, the different clubs. There was the Psychos Motorcycle Club. There was the Vagos. There were Muscaleros, Hells Angels. There was Diablos. There was a lot of clubs in Southern California. So we part of these runs in Coachella every year called a pit run, and most all the clubs would show up for that. Hopefully everybody got along, but sometimes they didn't. But it was such a small bikers back then, and they were all loyal to each other, and so it was us against society. So we pretty much all worked together and stuck around together and raised our families together, and it was different back then. It was for a different reason. We were outcasts of the society. Where everybody's riding bikes now. It's a whole different genre now than it was back then. So, it was growing up and taking your lumps and bumps, and you had to earn the right to have a motorcycle. If they didn't think you had the wherewithal to be a biker, you'd probably lose your bike. It wasn't. It was a whole different set of rules back then. Never leave a biker on the side of the road, take him home, fix his bike, feed him a meal, and send him on his way the next day. And that's kind of the way it was, and that's kind of gone. I've seen that kind of go to the side a little bit. There's still a lot of people that still act like, still remember the old days and know the biker code, and hopefully some of these young guys take up the biker code and keep this thing going.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for 53 years, you've been involved in this, and so much respect to you from everybody internationally. But it seems that you've stayed true to your beliefs, and you're still building kind of the same bikes that you did back then. And how does that make you feel that you haven't changed, or what do you think about that?
When people ask me that question, it's kind of a cool question, because a lot of guys try to build and imitate the bikes that we did back then, and I can say I'm just doing what I've always done.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not imitating anybody. I'm building the bikes that we're building back then, and still building the same style chopper. And they've really never gone out of style. They've gone out of popularity, but they've never gone out of style. They kind of go. It's like a roller coaster ride. Everybody wants one for a while, then they don't, and then they want the fat tire choppers, and then those go away. And if you just stay to tradition, then you can't miss.
Well, I wanted to ask you too. I mean, the art of the front end, the forks, the chopper forks. There's an art to that, and the way they ride, it's how they fit into the frame. But
precision.
Yeah, it's how they really ride, and how important is that? And what's kind of the secret to make that frame so lovable when you ride it?
Well, it's just years and years of R&D, just messing with it and messing with the rake and the trail, the materials, everything about them, and the frame geometry, all that, and the size of the front wheel. If you go long, you go to the 19-inch wheel. People don't know that, but anything over 30 inches long, I require my guys to put a 19 on them, because you got to think of a wheel as like a gyroscope. If you ever played with one of those as a kid, the inertia from the outside of the wheel, it'll actually pull your hand right and left when you play with those little things you used to hold in your hand. And the same with a big wheel. It'll make the front end surge if you put a big tall wheel on a long front end. So you keep your axle down lower and keep the center of gravity down lower, and don't have that big wheel out there spinning like a flywheel with weights on it. And that's the key to making these things work. Is the geometry and the way you set them up in the wheel size. So that's just worked for me, and I found that out through the years, and we'll continue to do that, and we can make these front ends work. I've got one guy from Atlanta right now. He's got a 30 over bike. I built him a couple of years ago. He's got 150,000 miles on it. He rides back and forth across the country. Name's Tim Smith, and he's got a 30 over bike with a Denver rigid frame and jockey shift and SNS motor. And he rides 800 to 1,000 miles a day on that. I've been with him when he's done it. And back and forth, and that bike has never let him down. And he said it was probably one of the most comfortable bikes he's ever ridden because of the way he packs all his gear on the back. He just leans against the gear and pull back bars, and you see pictures of him all over the internet of him. Sometimes he'll even pull a trailer behind that long bike and him going back and forth across the country. So these are bikes that not only look good, but they can be ridden and enjoyed. And, you ride them up, take home a trophy sometimes. And Dave's not the judge, and we're okay.
Speaking of Dave, Mondo gave you some good props about how you helped him and your vision, but what, as a guy like Mondo, done for our industry, and how do people hold him in regard and the respect that he's earned from hard work and dedication and his craft of art? How has he impacted our industry?
Well, I'll tell you, there are only a handful of bike builders. You could probably count them on one hand, honest to God, that have the kind of impact that Mondo has had over the years. And it's really true. I mean, we're talking about people like Arlen Ness, Dave Perowitz, Donnie Smith, Mondo. That air is pretty rarefied up there when you're talking about this level of bike builder, because they're not only designing motorcycles, but really the whole look and feel of the lifestyle that we love. It's based on guys like Mondo's passion for two wheels, a lifelong love of motorcycles. And I'll tell you one thing, a Denver's bike, any bike that Mondo builds, you can ride them all day long, every day. I had a bike that Mondo built for me with a 16-inch over Springer front end, and that thing was just like a Cadillac. People think that rigid choppers are difficult to ride and stuff like that. That frame would flex, and it felt like it was a lot more comfortable than any Softail, I'll tell you that. Mm-hmm. And so, when you look at the big picture, we did a Mike Lichter and I did a book a number of years ago that really featured the top custom bike builders in the country, and Mondo's in there, and he's in there with these icons of the industry, and I'll tell you, it's been nothing but a pleasure to be friends with Mondo and to help him to achieve a lot of what he's wanted to do. And I used to tell people, they would thank me for putting their bike in the magazine. I would say, look, if you didn't build good-looking bikes, I couldn't put them in the magazine. So you're doing something right. And to me, the way a chopper should look, that's what Mondo does. That's all he does. That's what he does best. He makes good-looking choppers.
Treasure Coast Harley-Davidson presents Treasure Fest, February 5th through the 7th in Stuart, Florida, featuring free concerts with Saving Abel and Nova Rex, the Ives Brothers Wall of Death, a tattoo expo, bike shows both Saturday and Sunday, lots of vendors, strip club choppers. See the 2021 Harley-Davidson models on site. Remember, that's Treasure Fest at Treasure Coast Harley-Davidson, February 5th through the 7th with free concerts. For additional information, visit treasurecoasthd.com.
Oh, what a fantastic segment there, Dave-O.
Yes, sir.
And before we went into the break, told you how you could get your bike in the page of this here magazine, Born to Ride, by, I'll tell you how, editing or sending an email to that guy right over there.
That's correct. That is correct. Yeah, there are two easy ways to get your bike in Born to Ride magazine.
Not one, but two.
Two, yes. And one is you go to our Facebook page, Born to Ride Facebook group. You become a member of that, and you put a picture of your motorcycle in there. Let me see it.
Right.
So we can put it in the magazine. That's one way. The other way, the easy way, is just send me a picture of your bike. Just email me directly a picture of your bike and let me know how to get in touch with you. Send it to editor@borntoride.com. That's editor@borntoride.com. I'll look at your bike. You could be in the magazine. Just that easy.
All right. That's pretty easy. We're making it pretty easy for you folks because
we're trying.
Listen, it's all about being simple. So Dave, tell us what's coming up in the next segment.
Our final interview with Mondo from Denver's Choppers from Boss Hog Radio. We'll wrap that up right now.
Here we go.
And the iconic Dave Mann painting is such a perfect tribute, on
the 30th anniversary.
30th, and the way it all came together like that, and that'll be here forever. That's not going away. So it's embedded into motorcycling history.
Mondo, I was going to ask, what do you think about some of these I don't want to say up and coming because they've been around for a while, but they're, some of these builders that are out there today on the East Coast. There's Bill Dodge and there's Brian Butera that are building some awesome looking choppers, and they're not old school guys, but they love the look and they love the old school. What do you think about them?
I think Brian's the shining star, and he's, I compliment him all the time on Facebook, and I watch his builds. And he went over my front ends a while back and was going to put it on a bike, and I felt honored about that because anything that he builds is nice. Bill Dodge has been around a long time. He used to work for Jesse James. When he got started, Bill was one of the crew there. But I pretty much know all the guys in the industry that are up-and-comers, and And I tell you, this thing of ours, this chopper thing's in good hands. I see some really nice work going on out there, and these young guys are they're keepers of the flame. They're going to keep this thing of ours going when we're gone, and I'm happy about that. It makes me smile. And I always tell them, let your work do your talking for you. Don't try to be cocky. Don't try to act like you invented the wheel or did something on a motorcycle that nobody's done. It's pretty much everything that's been done. Just be humble, build your bikes, let your bikes do your talking for you, and be true to yourself and be true to your style. Don't try to copy everybody all the time. Come up with your own deal and your own thing that makes you stand out in the crowd. And some of the young guys listen to them, don't, and the ones that don't usually don't last long. They're in it for the wrong reasons. They try to get in it for the fame instead of the love of the build and the love of the lifestyle. If you get recognized, it's because you've done good work. Like Dave said, you got a nice bike, it'll go in the magazine. So just have fun at it and don't let it stress you out and think of it. You got to be better than everybody else because there's always somebody better than everybody else. There's guys that I look up in the industry and I think I'm nothing compared to them. And Aaron Green is that man. He's one of the guy, Roger Goldhammer. Those guys, I feel like I can't hold a candle to them. And they're younger than me, but they're masters. They're masters at their craft, and I love them both immensely. And I travel with Aaron Green a lot, and him and Billy Lane. Those guys are masters, and so I think age has nothing to do with it. It's heart and soul and your passion for what we do. And, you can knock this thing out of the park if you just be true to yourself and come up with some good ideas.
Man, that's awesome. But Mondo, when you first started, how did you get inspired to say, that's what I want to do, I want to build choppers? How did that all come about?
That's a good question. When I was a young kid, and I went to the corner market one time, and I was taking my Coke bottles in to change them in for some change for some candy. I must have been about 10 or 11 years old. And I saw a group of bikers. There was bikers on a club called the Road Rebels come pulling up, and I saw them, and I go, man, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. I want to be one of those guys. And so it never left my mind. And then when I got hooked up with Denver and playing with the cars, and then we got into the bikes, it was kind of a dream come true. You got to remember that back when we started building bikes and stuff, we didn't have another generation to look at that were chopper builders. Of course, there were guys out there with the bobbers and the chop bikes came along before us, but there were really no chopper builders. So we couldn't look back and say, hey, there's Sugar Bear way back when. No, Sugar Bear was our generation. So we had nobody to look up to. And now these younger guys do. They can look up to the older guys and go, okay, this is what they're about. And I always tell Dave, and he knows this more than anybody, is to know where you're going, you need to know where you've been. History is everything when you talk about motorcycles. You need to know the history of the motorcycle, the chopper, where it came, and the guys that busted their butts to get through it and took the hard knocks so these young guys can kind of go around and do what they do now. There's old guys, gray-haired guys, and I always tell the young guys, you see an old gray-haired guy with an old bike, go up and shake his hand. He took the lumps and bumps so you can ride around now and look cool. We blaze the trail for you guys and appreciate that more than anything, and try to be honorable. A
lot of bloody knuckles,
and live by the code. And you old guys know what the code is, and I think you can never go wrong if you just show that respect to everybody else.
And
get what you get.
And that's why we're honored to and thankful for you to be a part of Chopper Town live with us, and being a part of it brings some validation of these builders dig that when they find out that you're going to giving away a front end. And I got to thank Dave Nichols because he brought it to the table. He said, let me call Mondo, and it's so awesome. And we're really looking forward to doing the big feature in the magazine and anything else we can do to help you promote and market. But it's the words that you say, I think, that are very strong, and people have to dig those words. And and know what it's about. And most of these guys all know about it, but it's total respect because, well, not everybody can preach that word like you've been doing tonight. And it's such an honor to have you on the show. Dave, anything else you've got, man?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm just so happy to still, be able to do things with Mondo and help him. I did a thing with him a few months back in Choppers magazine, and now Born to Ride. And, it's like the love of bikes, it just keeps us all together. And I'll tell you, when Mondo and I get together and talk, it's like not a day has passed, It's like we're brothers for life, and that's part of the lifestyle. That's part of what keeps us all doing this. It's Dave Perowitz used to say that people used to get into bike building and they thought there was money in it. It's not about the money, or nobody would really be doing it. It's all about the fact that, man, there's nothing else that you would do. It's the best people, most fun that you can have is being involved with bikers. I'll tell you that.
And here we are in the studio. Fester, I mean, what do you think? Got a legend on the line with us today.
Well, of course, been listening to him talk, and of course on Facebook Live we've been rolling through some photos and everything. And I guess my question, Mondo, is, as someone that has done some fabrication, built a motorcycle, and wouldn't trade that for the world, but don't know that I want to do it again. Because that's a task. Okay. I mean, but at the same time, do you still like getting out in the shop each day and doing it? I mean, when you're trying to run a business, and I know what that's like, that can just be an awesome task in itself that, can just consume your day.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm blessed, and I'm in the shop 7 days a week, and I always have been. For the last 30 years, I've been, pretty much 7 days a week because I love it. There's no place I'd rather be than here in the shop creating parts and making motorcycles. But I also build cars. I'm building a 57 Chevy Bel Air straight axle gasser right now for my daughter. So when I get tired of working on the bikes, I'll work on the cars.
How cool is that?
And that's fun. And then, I used to have the drag boat shop, and I'd build drag boats. And we built all the safety capsules with the F-16 windshields and roll cages. That was Denver and I that were doing that. And most of the guys in the race today still use my stuff, even though I'm not doing it anymore. They're getting recycled through the sport. But somebody mentioned something earlier about the building and about math and building. You can build anything you want. You just need to get the vision in your head of what you want to build, and then you're going from point A to point B. And it's just if it's the materials that you use, it's steel or fiberglass or wood, whatever you're building. You just go from point A to point B, and math is the most important thing in any type of building that you do. If you don't have math, you can't do what you're doing. But I recommend to any young guy out there that wants to get into building bikes, the first thing to do is go to community college and take the welding class and learn how to weld. And once you learn how to weld, then you can start fabricating, making parts. And, there's nothing more rewarding than making a hand-honed part that you made with your hands, and you get it chromed or put it on the bike, and you go, wow, there's not another one like that, and I made it with my own hands. And that's the rewarding part of bike building, is being able to make that one part. Start off with little parts like foot pegs or something like that, and the next thing you're doing pipes. But you got to take that welding class. That's the key to building motorcycles. So that's my recommendation to young guys: go take that class and learn how to TIG weld, and then you're off and running.
That's
and
awesome.
It's just a matter of fulfilling your dream and using your imagination and getting those ideas in the middle of the night and going through the next morning and putting it together. Well, the secret to my success is first of all, love. The old saying, "Love what you do, and you'll never work a day in your life." I'm a walking evidence of that. I love what I do so much, and I'm always trying to come up with new ideas and new things. And, you think, well, it's just two wheels and a motor. What can you come up with? You'd be surprised what you can come up with on a motorcycle.
That does amaze me. That does.
As far as parts and a new idea and making a bike look a certain way. You got to remember, a lot of times people will come to me to have them build a bike, and they've got their own imagination. So I've got to encompass what their dreams are, and then bring them into reality, and yet keep it within the realms of Denver Chopper. So it's just fun, It just have fun at what you do, and here's the definition for you guys. People come to me and say, "Hey, you're a good bike builder." And I said, "No, I just been doing it for a long time, and my pile of parts that I built that were wrong is a big pile. Once you get a big pile of parts that you built wrong, then that's going to make you a good bike builder because you've learned by your mistakes. Learn by your mistakes. Don't be afraid to try. If you get it wrong, throw it in the pile. Build another part until you get it right." I've got a bigger pile than anybody, and that's the secret to my success.
That's awesome.
That's a trophy.
Well, we're almost out of time. Dave, you got anything?
Yeah, Mondo, I love you, brother. I love you too, Dave. And my career, I owe it to you guys. You guys are doing what you're doing, and anybody needs a motorcycle front end, rolling chassis frame, custom built, give me a call. I'll be happy to talk to you about it. DenversChoppers.com, you guys. Denver's Choppers. Denver's with an S, choppers with an S.com. Give me a call. I can make your dreams come true and get a new friend. I love the people involved with motorcycles. We'll see you in Sturgis this year, you guys. We'll be involved with about 4 or 5 different bike shows this year in Sturgis, and come out there. And Buffalo Chip will be putting on a bike show, an old school show, and so I love doing the bike shows. I put on a show here in Reno on the West Coast called Street Vibrations, and that's a big indoor show every year that I do, and I do some on the West Coast, California. So get online, you'll see where we're doing shows. Come out and meet us, and let's talk about old days and motorcycles and your kids and your dogs and cars. Honor and a pleasure, you guys. Thank you.
Man, let's do it again.
All right.
Y'all have a great evening. Stay safe.
Anytime, you guys.
Okay.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes. I'll tell you, Dave, the hours just seem to fly by even quicker each week here on Born to Ride Live.
Yes, that's why we're getting older. We got to slow stuff down.
Hey, I know this doesn't pertain much, doesn't get you as excited as it does us here in the Tampa Bay area, but congratulations to our Tampa Bay Buccaneers. One more game, and we are Super Bowl bound, hosting it right here in Tampa. So I had to give a shout out to my football team, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Thunder by the Bay is just around the corner. Make your plans, Dave. Give us some details.
That's right. February 19th through the 21st. Make sure to come on out, and you will see Chopper Town Live, the best chopper show you ever saw, ride-in bike show at Thunder by the Bay, coming right up. And not only that, what's happening this Sunday?
Boy, this Sunday we've got the big pop beer bar and grill. We've got the big party going on with Born to Ride, the bash as we call it. We had Angie Ray scheduled, national recording artist. She got hung up in Nashville. Handsome Dude is going to be playing that instead. It's going to be a great time. All of the competitors from Roscoe's Chili Challenge will be giving away free chili until noon. We've got Jello Wrestling. We've got a 10-class bike show. Did I mention Jello Wrestling?
Yeah, I think you did. We should have named our band Handsome Devil.
Well, we really should. But I'm telling you right now, those guys rock the house. And it's right out by the East Bay Raceway, right across the way there. So come on out, listen for us, because we're going to be partying all day again, and get there before noon. Get you some of that free chili, and I'll be out there. So I'll see you guys then.
And hey, we'll see you next week. Same time, same channel, right here for more Born to Ride Live.
We'll see you guys next Tuesday. Have a great week, y'all. Go.